All right, guys. Donald Trump's 757 has just landed in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We do have a rally, and it looks as though there is no pandemic going on, which is very, very interesting. We have rabid Trump supporters awaiting the president in North Carolina. Fox News is live. Right Side Broadcasting, whatever toxicity that is live. Bloomberg is live, and we are standing by for Donald Trump, and it is going to be a wild one. Only 7-8 weeks left until the election. Actually, is it exactly 8 weeks from today? Is that what's going on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exactly 8 weeks to the day before the presidential election, and I would expect this one to get very, very crazy. In fact, the Twitch gods are expecting this to be so insane that they have already launched a hype train. They're not even waiting. And we see at least one mask paired with the reverse MAGA visor, which is a look that I read about. And we have a lot that is going to be going on here. So I'm glad that you are here. Welcome if you're watching on YouTube. Welcome if you're watching on Twitch. Welcome if you're watching on Facebook. Facebook, which has been doing really well lately from the standpoint of viewers. Chakaseki has already jumped in with a super chat. Send them in. This is the day for super chats. Chakaseki says, according to Trump, his sophisticated friends showered him with claims of innocence, though they really showered him with... I'm going to leave the rest of it unread. I think you can imagine what it probably is. Yikes. Yikes. I do have memes. I do have images, videos, and so many things. Keith Jacobs says, David, your mic is cutting out during your show. Do you mean this show? I don't know which show you mean. But we do have a mic element. And I'm trying to figure it out. I don't actually know that it's the microphone. I'm using a process of elimination to try to figure that out. Happened twice today. Yeah, we're going to try to fix it. I'm going to switch to a different voice processor tomorrow, see if that deals with it. If not, imagine if they sent me a defective mic. That would be very embarrassing for sure. That's for sure. I mean, SHURE. Donna Williams says, I thought you were on vacation. No, that's next week, Donna, next week. Clea Torres says, if you must cross a course, cross cow across a crowded cow crossing, cross the course cow across the crowded cow crossing carefully. That's actually the advice my grandfather gave me, although he gave it to me in Spanish, and there's no alliteration in Spanish, which is interesting. If my lip sync is off, please refresh. That is not an issue on my end as far as we can tell. So please refresh if that's the case. Thanks to Kalinas for subscribing for 6 months on Twitch with the message, 6 months. My, how time flies. Very much so. A few memes to show you guys. Oh, one thing. Yeah, people are asking if I got a bunch of memes from the Instagram picture I showed the other day. I got almost none. I posted this picture to my Instagram last week, and I thought that there would be all sorts of different prepper or doctor memes put together. I got very few. Certainly not yet in a position to show any of them. That's for sure. But you can get those in via my website contact form at davidpakman.com. And you can find the source image for this new meme format on my Instagram at david.pakman. I do have some sort of deep fake memes. I'll show you guys these. Unfortunately, this is probably going to get me hit with a copyright issue. Say bye-bye to monetization because there is music here. This is me as Iron Man. I like this one. Let's see if we can get a better... I think this is a better zoom level for us. Take a look at this one. I think this is pretty creative. Take a look. I don't know who did these. They're on my subreddit. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so that's me as Iron Man. And then, sorry, just 1 second. I do need to ban someone on Twitch. Bye-bye. There we go. Banhammer has been dropped. Okay, and then here is me as Conor McGregor. Oh my God, look at this. This is me if I were a UFC fighter, I guess. Check this out. That was a crazy night. Joe Rogan's analysis of my fight was really, really something else. So there's those. We do still have, let's make sure we're not missing anything. No, not yet. We do still have this new plasma track. This is a good one.
Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives.
This is the hit of the summer.
Convalescent, strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection. Yep. Convalescent is the only possible, and it's only made possible because of Operation Beautiful. Convalescent, today I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. We provided $48 million to fund the Mayo Clinic.
Anyway, you guys get the idea. So that is going to be very, very soon. I am going to be adding drums to that. The only reason I haven't done it already is I'm actually struggling to get my recording setup working correctly on my drums, which is very sad. Very, very sad. But that's going to be happening soon. So plasma incoming very, very powerfully. I do want to say thank you to Audra Evans, who is new member number 1 today at joinpacman.com. People asking, people want an update as far as subscribers go. Listen, it is looking very likely that we are going to hit 1 million YouTube subscribers during our vacation. We're on vacation next week, and if you take a look here at Social Blade, you can see that we are now slated to hit 1 million subscribers 13 days from now on September 22nd. Now, we will be back already from vacation on the 22nd, but the thing is, we are already at, hold on, where are we? We're at 990, almost 991, and we've been getting 2,000 new subscribers a day lately. I think it's quite possible we hit like on Tuesday. I really do think so. And I've gotten a bunch of congratulatory messages. Would you guys like to see, I got a congratulations message from Hassan Destiny Piker II. And I guess I could show that one to you guys. Let me see here. Let me see how I can do this. Hold on a second. Let me get this set up. I don't want to expose Hassan's private messages to me. But Hassan had a very nice message. We are going to have a compilation video where we will very, very, it's going to be a beautiful message. It's going to be a beautiful message to everybody. But here's Hassan's contribution for this compilation video.
What's going on, David Pacman, aka David Libman? I just want to congratulate you on the 1 million subscriber marker that you just reached. I know we have our disagreements on certain issues, but I value your voice in the progressive space, right, especially in independent media. Keep doing you, keep de-radicalizing these Nazis, and keep moving these neoliberals further and further left towards a social democracy.
Wow, aggressive.
I wish you all the success in the future. Hope to check in again when you have 10 million subscribers.
Wow. Okay, and then it seems like a painting fell off the wall there at the last second. But a beautiful, beautiful message. So that's the message from Hassan. And there's going to be like 15 or 16 different friends of the show who will be visible in this compilation video, which is going to be really, really great. Okay. A few super chats coming in. By the way, we do need to blow out of the water the new member number. I know that some people are upset that we've only set a goal of 25. Let's not put the cart before the horse, okay? I know we got to 67 yesterday, but we haven't even gotten to 2. You know, you don't, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with 1 step, I think is the way I would apply. Everybody relax. Okay, let's go through some super chats. Amber says, thank you for doing what you do, David. Thank you. Crazy Cat Lady says, you rock, David. Stubbs the Wolf says, hey, David, you need to do a show on Mitch McConnell. That is a race almost as important as Trump-Biden. Yabbit says, please comment on the Biden campaigns welcoming the endorsement of Flint poisoner Rick Snyder. Michiganders are livid. Sherry Nelke says, David, thank you for translating Trumpies for me. I can't do it without you. Joseph Jepson says, David, what is agit trash and how do you spell it? Okay, so it's not ADJIT. That I like that, but it's not that. So, you know, agitprop, AGIT, like to agitate. Agit trash is really poorly done agitprop. That's the word. Shaner says, I've been torturing myself with Trump-Hillary debates from 16. I know Biden has to do it, but Trump will just do high school insults the whole time. Yeah, basically. Tristan McCoppin says, I think whether he wins or loses, he will instruct gun nuts to attack the other side. What do you think? I worry that that is the case. I worry that that is the case. The Price So Drama says, hey, David, question, is he landing somewhere outside the U.S., like in a country where COVID isn't a thing? If not, WTF are 58,000 people doing there? Yes, they are acting like there's no a pandemic. It's absolutely bizarre. I have to say a huge thank you to Per Tiren, who is climbing in with a record 5,000 Swedish kroner super chat. This matches the largest super chat we've ever had. Currency exchange pending, but roughly. Per, thank you. Per says, hi, David. I don't want to talk politics for a while. Mental holiday. I hope you rest on your time off. Enjoy your near and dear. Take this pocket change, isn't that like $500? And use it only for good food and other pleasures. Not 1 cent on work-related thingies. Lots of people love you in Sweden and all over the world. Wow. Per, we love you at the show. You've been a supporter for a long time. Social democracy clearly functioning beautifully. And I really appreciate your support. 5,000 Swedish kroner is a very generous level of support, and I appreciate that. And good. I don't know if Per is saying that he's acknowledging my upcoming vacation, or Per is saying he's going on vacation, or both. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I appreciate that, Per. Thank you very, very much. Thank you to Faceplant Kagers for subscribing on Twitch with the message, David, thank you for 5 months. I couldn't have done it without you. Also, thanks to DNKGG and Gazer Paglop, who have subscribed. Hex Onyx 1658 has subscribed. Very much appreciate that. Is music going? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. We're going to wait on that a little bit. As many of you know, any number of copyright issues. I hope eventually our view will not be obstructed by other camera people. That would be really weird if it were. Ms. Smith. Oh, hold on. I missed a couple. Beyond Natural says, good job, David. Thank you. Brett Ledbetter. Georgia Senate race. What are your thoughts? Tomorrow. Check out my video coming up about that tomorrow. Ms. Smith says, should do a rolling sidecar dance to Plasma once you hit 1 million. Also, thanks for what you do. That's an idea, Ms. Smith. Kellements says, I wonder how many QAnon supporters are there. What's your Spanish channel named? I don't have a Spanish channel. Need to show my older fam. You're my South American liberal comrade. No, I don't have a Spanish language channel, but I will be releasing a Spanish language interview during our vacation. It'll be subtitled so everybody can understand it. Well, everybody who speaks English, I guess. Thanks to Patrick Beal, who is new member number 2 today at joinpacman.com. Tugboat McGuire is new member number 3 today at joinpacman.com. I very much appreciate that. It would be great if we had a better angle in terms of what was going on. Here's one. This one is not so good. Here is Donald Trump. Why can't Fox News put together some better kind of angle? It's really weird. I'm sure they'll get it going really soon. Let's see if the White House feed is live. White House feed still not live. All right. Well, we'll keep it here for now. Eventually, I think things will look right. Also, thank you to Ralph Garcia, who's new member number 4. Listen, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because we have so many important things going on. Oh, my God. Mark Meadows is with Trump. That's sick. That is toxic. Mark Meadows is so vile. Really, really horrible. Horrible person. As Trump walks around here, we're going to get better video here eventually, guys. It looks like Donald Trump is coming in this direction on the fog. There he is. Where is he? I'm sure we'll notice him because of his skin color. He's somewhere in there. Okay. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I mentioned this yesterday. People reacted very strongly to it. This program and the future of this program is very much up to you. Okay. We're mostly funded by viewers who sign up at joinpacman.com. If you don't like me, don't do it. Okay. If you don't value the show, don't do it. If you're down to your last couple dollars, don't do it because the show is for everybody. But if $1.80 a month is something you can do, grab a membership at joinpacman.com. I'm asking you. This is my pitch. I'm asking you to do it. The coupon code above my head, 2020 now, will instantly, I mean, it's instant. It'll just chop 66% off of the price of a membership. It'll drop it to $2 a month, or if you prepay for the year, it'll be only $1.80. And I will do my best to thank everybody who signs up. Like, for example, Allison James just signed up, and she is new member number 5. And when I say it's our primary funding source, you know, we're doing healthcare, we're doing gowns, we're doing Schwabs. Sorry, no, those last 2 things we're not doing. I'm not giving my employees any Schwabs. But, you know, I try to be a good boss. We try to do the right things. And the membership is our primary funding source. So I do appreciate everybody who signs up as we await another Corona rally with Donald Trump. It actually seems like these people here are wearing masks by and large. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so music is still going. We are eventually going to need a little bit of a volume boost, I can tell. Here's Trump. We've got a lot of different angles. The fist pump moment is happening. We're going to hear from Trump very, very soon. Super chats continue to come in. Alan Mitchell is watching from Aberdeen in Scotland. I watch all your live streams. Keep up the good work, David. Must be what? Around midnight there. I believe you guys are +5 from East Coast. Chakaseki says, speech buzzword predictions. Number of TVs in Air Force One. Soup reference. Windmills. Plasma. Seth Pfeffahide, blowing up Mount Rushmore, Sleepy Joe. I think we will get all of those. I don't know if we will hear Trump say Pfeffahide today. I don't know that we're going to get that one. Thanks to Aaron Nance for subscribing for 12 months. Let's get to the president.
Great honor to be in North Carolina. We had great luck and great people backing us in North Carolina. And I'm thrilled to be in Winston-Salem with thousands of loyal, hardworking Americans.
Slurring already.
Great people, great people. I don't know how many people here, but there's a lot.
Pitbull.
We said, let's keep it down. They didn't do too good a job, but that's good, right? That's good. Now these crowds, I tell you, it's beyond what we had in terms of enthusiasm, beyond what we had 4 years ago in 2016.
Right.
And that was a record enthusiasm, and we are breaking that record by a lot. This is the most important election we've ever had. 56 days from now, we're going to win North Carolina. We're going to win 4 more years in the White House.
We'll see.
This is a choice, and I must say, this is a choice for many, many decades. I don't think you've had a bigger difference, and maybe you've never had a bigger difference. This is the American dream. And the other, I don't want to say it because I'll get myself in trouble with the fake news back there. But the other is a basic disaster for our country. Joe Biden devoted his career to offshoring your jobs, throwing open your borders, dragging us into endless foreign wars along with some of his other friends, and surrendering our children's future to countries like China.
China.
Remember this, very simple to remember. If Biden wins, China wins. It's as simple as that.
I would go further. I think if Biden wins, everybody wins.
A situation where we built the greatest economy in the history of the world.
And we're going to do it
We were
again.
forced to close it because of the China plague that came in. And now we've opened it. And by the way, your state should be open. Your state should be open.
He's got like 4,000 people there. Isn't the state open? It looks pretty damn open to me.
Any governor that does that, and even if you look statistically, it's you, it's Michigan, it's a couple of others,
Michigan.
they're closed. New York, look what they're doing in New York, what they're doing to our beautiful New York. Oh, it's so sad. But you just take a look at what's going on in North Carolina. They want to open. They want to open. They want to open in Michigan so badly.
What's closed in North Carolina?
They want to have their schools open. And it's a shame what's going on. And I'll tell you what, on November 4th, every one of those states will be open. They're doing it for political reasons.
Lie.
No, they're doing it for political reasons. They think by hurting the economy, by keeping all these store owners and all these people that work in shops and stores and buildings, offices, they think by keeping them and hurting them, you're hurting the economy. Our economy is doing phenomenally well. And it's not only is it a V, it's a super V. You see what's happened.
Right.
We just had a jobs number come out, 1.4 million. It's down to 8.4%. Nobody thought that, 8.4. So we had the greatest economy, we closed it up, and now we're opening it up, and your state should go with it. We're opening it up, and we will have a great third quarter. It's going to be announced, by the way, just before the election.
I am worried
But
about
we're going to
that.
have a great third quarter.
Very
we
worried.
have unbelievable retail numbers, unbelievable numbers all over, and this is that super V, but next year is going to be one of the greatest years in the history of our country economically. And
Hopefully if he's gone, right?
unless the wrong person gets in and quadruples everybody's taxes, in which case you will see a depression, the likes of which you haven't seen. And remember this,
saw
if
the depression
Biden
3
wins
months
the
ago.
violent mobs, you see these mobs all over the place. They're Biden
Violent
people,
mobs.
they're Biden states
Purple
and cities,
mobs.
they're Democrat states. If they win, the mobs win. You see these guys, they go around saying, yeah, I want your meal. Give me that food. Give me that. A woman sitting there, she wants to eat. And they come, they grab her food. They grab her drink.
She had a
Nobody's
taco
ever
salad.
seen stuff like this. This is all that ideology. We're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let it happen. And you know, in Portland, you see what happened last night? They arrested over 50 people the first time. We said either do it or we're going in. We're
Sort
going to
of
have
a
to go in.
meandering
Do it.
speech.
Let us go in. We're saying, I spoke to the governor of Oregon the other day. Let us go in. I said, let us go in.
Oregon.
We'll straighten it out in less than a half an hour. Now, the U.S. Marshals did go in to take care of that one guy who killed somebody. You saw that. He killed a young man in the middle of the street violently. He had other charges against him. And I put out, when is he going to be arrested? And they went in about 15 minutes later.
What a hero.
And I'll tell you what, our federal government is so ready to go. All they have to do is call us. It'll all be solved very quickly. They have to call us.
Call us.
But all of these places are Democrat-run places, radical left-run places. They don't know what the hell they're doing. If Biden wins, the riot...
Isn't the country run by a Republican right now?
He said the other day, well, you know, if I win, that doesn't mean that's going to stop. He will never stop. If they win, it's not going to happen, hopefully, but because this is not like a second-place crowd, let's face it. And are you seeing...
More like third or fourth place.
Are you seeing all the poll numbers are coming out? That's why he left, finally, he left his basement. He said, we got problems. I don't think he knows that, but the people that manage him know it. They understand it.
So Trump may win, but right now Biden's lead is 2.5 times what Hillary's was on September 8th, 2016. Just facts, you know. It could change.
The future belongs to America, not to China and other countries. Because if we win, America wins. You know that. You've seen that. You've seen what we've done.
Not exactly.
Over the last 3.5 years, we've secured America's borders, fixed our broken trade.
America wins with Trump. We're not allowed in almost any countries, and if he gets another 4 years, we won't be allowed for another 4 years.
We built the awesome power of the United States military. obliterated the ISIS caliphate 100%. In fact, I got it down to 98%. Remember a year and a half ago, I got it down to 98, and they all said, no, it's got to be 100. I said, somebody else could finish. We want to get home. They said, no, you got to finish it. So we took another 2 months. We finished it, and we're bringing them home. We're bringing them home. These great, great warriors. But people don't like it when I say that. Secured American energy independence and built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now we are very simply, we're doing it again, and we're on track to have, as I said, the best year we've ever had next year. You just
Verbal
had
diarrhea. An ink blot.
You know, you just had the best year of the history of your state last year.
He's been saying that to every state. Have you guys noticed?
Million jobs in the last 4 months. Next year will be the single greatest economic year in the history of our country, and probably in the history of your state if your governor ever opens up. But hopefully you're going to have Dan Forrest. You're not going to have to worry about it. But if sleepy Joe Biden takes power, the economy will collapse. He won't even know the difference. How's the economy? Not good, sir. We're in a depression. Oh, we are? What's that? Joe Biden has spent 47 years shipping North Carolina jobs.
When Trump flops during the debates, the Biden dementia stuff's not going to go so well.
4 years bringing jobs back to our country. We never had so many jobs. We were up to 160 million jobs. We were never anywhere close. We got up to 160 million.
Remember, that's the labor participation rate conundrum, which is as the population grows, the number of people employed grows and the number of people not employed grows as a percentage, remaining equal because of the raw numbers. You know, you guys know that. I mean, I don't even know.
Extremists that have no idea what they're doing, to burn down buildings or take control of government, set fire to a whole country. You know, when they started knocking down the monuments and statues a few months ago, right? I signed a very strong executive order. You want to knock them down, that's fine, but you go to jail for 10 years. It was amazing.
No charges, no due process.
It was amazing
just jail.
how that stopped. And then they said, well, we'll do it easily. We'll do it through the process because, you know, they don't want to spend 10 years. You know, they'd look at it. They'd say, not worth it. 10 years is too much. But the D.C. committee, did you see about that? They want to change the name of the Washington Monument. They want to get rid of the Lincoln Monument, Jefferson Monument. Now we're talking the big stuff. They finally hit the big time. Took them a while to get there, but I said that was going to happen. Don't worry about it. You don't have a thing to worry about. If our foreign adversaries were devising a scheme to cripple America, they could hardly do better than the Kamala Harris. Remember Kamala? She started at 15. She was supposed to win. Problem was she went from 15 to 14 to 12 to 10.
Trump correctly identifying that Kamala Harris did not come in first in the primary, and that led to her being the VP running mate rather than the nominee.
She could never be the first woman president. She could never be. That would be an insult to our country.
What?
Biden wants to impose a $4 trillion tax hike, a ban on American energy, eliminate America's borders, confiscate your guns. He wants to get rid of your Second Amendment, appoint.
That's a big one. Of course, Biden couldn't get rid of the Second Amendment if he wanted.
Being very pro-crime judges, but they want to destroy your suburbs. He want to, you know the rule, the regulation that I just terminated. They want to build low-income projects in the suburbs. They've been doing it. They've been destroying suburbs.
So all that Trump terminated is something that says that localities should be looking at the racial impact of their housing policy. That's all it said. Trump's lying right now. Shock.
I think they do. Said women don't. And then we did great with women. Remember that great? Was that one of the greatest evenings ever? 4 years ago. That was one of the greatest. But one of the things they did, first of all, we did much better. Now we're doing really well. African American vote much better. Hispanic vote much better.
Where's his African American?
He did better with African Americans than we thought. He did better with Hispanic than we thought. He did better with Asians than we thought. he did really well with women. What's this all about? You know, ladies and gentlemen.
What is he talking about?
Then they said Donald Trump is projected the winner of 2016. You remember that evening? Was that the craziest?
What an evening.
That was the craziest thing, and they thought, I think they didn't think it, but I'll tell you what, anything we had then, we have much more now.
Right.
They don't understand. They do understand it. They do, right? They understand it. Look at that beautiful dress. And she wears that dress right through the middle of Hollywood, and everyone says, thank you very much.
What on earth is going on? This is cringy.
But they want to indoctrinate your children and implement a ruinous shutdown of the United States economy again. Biden said the other day, well, if the experts told me, we're not shutting it down again. We don't have to. We learned about the
Trump
disease.
defiantly will not listen to experts.
Lives. People don't realize we saved millions of lives and hundreds of thousands of lives by not letting China. We put a ban on China, heavily infected.
He saved millions of lives, and then he saved hundreds of thousands.
Did the right thing, I have to admit. It's clear why both China and the flag-burning rioters want Biden to win. They know his policies will be the downfall of America, and they know my policies will lift America to new heights of national greatness like we've never seen before. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. And never forget, they're coming after me because I'm fighting for you. There's a lot of truth in that one.
Yep.
And they do come after me.
Too much winning.
They do come after me. They have more things to say about me every day. It's something. They said, you don't see the plane where it is? Sir, would you like to take the car? I say, why? I'm saying, why? Well, I heard you had a limp. I do? I don't know about a limp. I don't have a limp. Hey, someday I'm going to have a limp. I'll let you know when. You'll see it. No, they make this stuff up. They make it up. They make stuff. Is
he going to do mini strokes?
They give a phony deal out. They did it 2 days ago with the military. There's nobody loves the military more than me. So they make, you know, I was very lucky though. I had 15 incredible American patriots that came by and they said, he never said that they were there. They were there. But they make up stories, horrible stories, many, many. Hey, look at last time. The fake dirty dossier. It was all made up. And frankly, if the shoe was on the other foot, right? If it was on the other foot, you'd have many people, 20, 25 people right now in jail for 2 years, and they'd be there for 50 years because they got caught spying on our campaign.
Wait, they'd be there 2 years or 50 years?
Whatever else you want to call it. And it's a disgrace that it's taken this long. It's a disgrace that it's taken this long. And let me just tell you a little secret. Obama got caught, and so did Sleepy Joe Biden.
They got caught. No one in the crowd saying, what law was broken again? What law was broken?
Biden sitting in the room saying, why don't you use the Logan Act on General Flynn? Look at General Flynn, what he's going through for years. If that were ever reversed, I'm telling you, you'd have many people in jail for many, many years, and it would have started 2 years ago. It's a disgrace, but let's see what happens. Biden's a globalist sellout who spent his career laying waste to American communities. And, you know, he talks about, like, well, he's going to do this. He doesn't have any idea. He has no clue. He's going to do this. He's been there for 47 years. And, you know, he just really left. You know, he left 3.5, 4 years ago, right? So he just left. But he's been there for 47 years. I'm going to do this. You know, after 47 years, he's had a change of heart. This is the craziest election. Look, somebody said, what's the difference between crooked Hillary Clinton and Slow Joe? So the difference is the following. She's meaner, probably not as nice. I don't know. You can't get any worse than her when you think. But the big difference is she's smarter than he is. Okay? He's a nicer person, but he's not smart. He never was, not in prime time, and certainly not now. The Washington vultures ripped apart our towns in exchange for...
The jarring nature of him going from his free association back into the prompter is interesting.
Radical left, you know that, with Crazy Bernie and everyone. And by the way, you know who's further left than Crazy Bernie? Kamala. Kamala.
What's with that pronunciation? Anybody? Is that xenophobic in some way? I'm guessing it is, right?
Race. Sort of interesting that they picked her. Because in theory, they should be able to win California. I don't know. Maybe we'll make a play for that one, too.
I'd focus on Texas if I were him.
But they pick somebody from California. I don't quite get it. But you always pick somebody that's hot, that's going up in the polls, right? Going
She's
up.
hot. Huh.
Frankly, I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever said this, but probably Hillary should have picked Bernie Sanders to be her running mate, right? Because, as crazy as it sounds, he was hot. He gave her a hell of a fight.
Breaking.
A lot of people think he won.
Trump says
and it got
Bernie
taken
hot.
away. One thing about Bernie, he's the greatest loser I've ever seen because, look, any children here? No, not too many, but they've heard it before. He got screwed 4 years ago, and he got screwed again.
What on earth is happening?
Biden got the nomination, right? He got the nomination.
Is this a medical event?
Would have sat back, and if Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, you remember Pocahontas? Right? She finally faded. She faded badly. But if she would have dropped out on Super Tuesday, prior to Super Tuesday, Bernie would have been the nominee.
Unclear.
And I don't know who I'd rather run against. One is super left, the other one's had to become super left. One is competent, the other one is only half competent now and heading south. He's half competent and heading south rapidly. But the globalists and the leftists make natural partners because they're united by their contempt for the American middle class. And
That sounds like a Stephen Miller line.
powerful corporations and far-left politicians have both sided with radical demonstrated over, if you look at that, it's over the law-abiding areas that we have. Republican cities and towns are doing great. We're doing great. And we don't have crime, and we don't have this violence. Chicago, over the weekend, many people killed, many people shot. They're actually shot and killed. New York, the same thing. New York's gone through the roof. They're up 300% in certain categories. And you say, what's happening?
Categories.
And we want to send them in so badly. Joe Biden and his party spent the entire summer cheering on the rioters, rampaging through Democrat-run cities, falsely labeling them as peaceful protesters. And we call you peaceful protesters. You know why? Because they have rules in these Democrat-run states that if you're campaigning, you can't have more than 5 people. They did that for me. If you're going to church, you can't go to church anymore.
Right.
You can't
Trump
go
cares
to
about
church.
that.
You can't go to church. You can't do anything. You have to stay in your house. But if you're willing to riot running down Main Street, if you're willing to riot and stand on top of each other's face and do whatever the hell you want to do, you're allowed to do that because you're considered a peaceful protester. So we decided to call all our rallies peaceful protests.
Is he high right now?
Instead of standing up to the far-left rioters, Biden condemns law enforcement and condemns America. Didn't even mention the words that we love and respect law and order. They're all telling me, even my people, my very brilliant consultants who I don't listen to too much, maybe I should. Sir, please don't say law and order. It's too tough. Now, in the meantime, you look at these streets, people are all crazy. They say law and order, but with safety and with security. I said, look, people get it. It's just law and order. Is that okay? We want law and order. They say, law and order and safety, sir. Could you add the word safety? Because I said, I don't want to, it's sort of obvious, right? We want law. We want order. Biden is fueling the violence with his relentless attacks on police and his constant...
Yeah, the transitions are completely out of control today.
Almost every police group in the country. Sheriffs in Florida, Ohio, Texas, North Carolina, all over the country. But did you notice he's starting to talk a little bit tougher now? Did you notice that? He sees what's going on. His polls are dropping like a rock, and he sees what's going on. That's not true. Now he's starting to say, no, we need law and order. No, he didn't say that, did he? He'll never get to say that. He can't say that because then it'd lose the whole left. And let me tell you, the left is running that party. You take a look. You don't want to be dealing with the left. These people are stone cold crazy. You don't want to be dealing. Meanwhile, Biden, He doesn't say a word about the thousands of African Americans who are murdered each year as a result of violent crime in Democrat-controlled cities.
What does that mean that he doesn't say anything about it? He talks about it all the time. It's just he's not using the racialized language Trump is using.
Backgrounds who build up our communities, not the violent criminals and extremists and agitators and anarchists who burn them down. Next time you see video of screaming far-left maniacs shouting wildly at peaceful Americans, remember this. These are Biden supporters, and if he wins, they will be...
That's almost certainly untrue. The tiny percentage of people that are being violent are extremely unlikely to be voting Biden. In fact, they're more likely to think that Biden and Trump are both cut from the same cloth, or, as is written in The Nation today, could even be right-wing provocateurs, and there's an investigation going on into that.
We're never going to give them a chance to do it. We're never giving them a chance. We're going to win. We're going to win big. This is a very important state. And by the way, when they send out their millions and millions of unsolicited ballots, when you get a ballot, say, well, I wanted to go and vote, darling. I wanted to go and vote. Why are they sending me those ballots? There's something really... The only way we lose North Carolina and a couple of others, like Nevada, we're doing great there.
Oh, yeah.
Now the governor decides we're doing so well that they're going to send out unsolicited. You have solicited and unsolicited. They're going to send out millions of ballots to you. People that never really thought in terms of it. Now, sometimes you'll ask for a ballot. That's a solicited ballot. It's okay. You have to go through a process. You have to sign a form. Get it. Sending out millions of unsolicited ballots. Make sure you send the ballot in and then go to your polling place and make sure it counts.
This is illegal.
Make sure it counts. Because the only way they can win is by doing very bad things.
Okay, he actually stops short of suggesting to try to vote a second time. Okay, so that was not illegal. Last time he did it, it was a crime.
You know, it's an airport. Hi, fellas. They did a good job guiding the plane. They're great. They're great. No, this is an airport. If he were, honestly, if he had 200 people, I think it would be a lot. I really mean. You ever see the gyms with the circles? That's his crowd. If he had 200 people.
There is a pandemic.
I was told we have 15,000 people here tonight. That's what I was.
If that's true, it's immoral, and more likely it's a lie.
But they'll correct it. They'll say, he's wrong. It was 14,500. He's misrepresenting. He's misrepresenting. Now, I was told we have 15,000, and we're in the middle of an airport someplace.
We're in the middle of a pandemic.
And, you know, I actually think, I don't know if you agree, so we go to the arenas, but because of China, the arenas aren't working out too well, right? You can't really do that anymore for a while. But we are rounding the turn, I will tell you. We're rounding the turn on that. But because of that...
Rounding the turn.
So we said, because we have the same crowds. I think we have bigger crowds, potentially. We were in New Hampshire the other night. We had to turn away 8,000 people at an airport. We're doing mostly hangar things because we're outside. Outside is very much different than being inside, according to the great doctors, right? But they say it's very much different. So we're doing these, and we're doing the outdoors, we're doing the hangars.
Down with doctors.
But I really believe that these crowds are bigger than they were 4 years ago. It's pretty amazing.
Yep. These people know. They're all nodding.
It's pretty amazing.
Not even covering their noses.
We started off in New Hampshire. We said, look, let's have 1,000 people. And they had like 5 or 6 show up, and they had thousands more. We're trying to be nice, but then eventually we landed 2 weeks ago. We landed in New Hampshire, and the entire runway was lit up with thousands and thousands of people as the plane was landing.
I don't think that anybody was allowed on the runway. I think that's got to be a lie, right?
It's a great thing. More support than we had 4 years ago. Because, 4 years ago I said I was going to do this. I was going to cut your taxes. I was going to cut regulations. I was going to get right to try. I was going to take care of your vets. I was going to rebuild your military. I was going to do all these things. And you said, I don't know, that's a lot of... You know what? I've actually done more than I promised. Build a wall. Build a wall.
Oh, my God.
Sure. I've done more. For instance, you never heard me say, a lot of you were at various rallies, you never heard me talking about Space Force. We built a new think of it, a new branch of the United States military, United States Armed Forces, called Air Force. I never talked about that. That's something we never talked about. I only
Because it
figured
was
that
not
one out
really a
after I
great
became
idea.
president, because I saw what Russia was doing and what China was doing. I said, we have to do the same thing. And if you think that was easy, that was not easy. That was not easy. It was very hard.
Tough.
But what we've done, you know, the wall now is past 300 miles.
Last week it was 400.
It's exactly the wall that our great Border Patrol wanted. I was hoping a nice concrete plank for the builders in here. Boom, boom, you put it. Sir, we have to be able to see through. I said, all right, let's go. Much more expensive. And I said, let's go. So we're over 300 miles now, and we will be finished with it very soon.
Yeah.
And we have
At this rate, it should only take 30 more years.
had by far, and it's a good time to have it too. And you know, Mexico is paying for the wall, just so you understand.
No, they're not.
They don't say that.
Because
they
they're
never
not.
say it.
Because they're
But
not.
We're going to charge a small fee at the border.
No.
You know, the toll booths. We have toll booths. They're the
Never going to happen.
border in the world in terms of people going across and in terms of
Will not
industry.
happen.
Believe it or not, the southern border. We're putting a small toll on, and maybe we're going to do something with remittance. That's where people come here, make money, and they send it back.
Ooh.
So we'll do something, and we're going to.
That's not gonna work.
All the money that we spent in the wall will be coming back. So remember, I used to say, "Who's going to pay for it?" They'd say Mexico.
It was a lie then, and it's a lie now.
That's right. Mexico's going to pay. And what happens if they fight us? Remember that answer? It's going to get 10 feet higher. Remember that? What happens if they fight us on the wall? The wall's going to get 10 feet higher. But now Mexico and I get along great. In fact, they have 27,000 soldiers along our southern border protecting us from people coming into our country. Can you imagine that? So, 27,000. And I did that so that we don't put tariffs on their products coming into. It was very simple. I said, you got to do it. And the president's been great. He's a friend of mine. He's doing a very good job. Not easy. Mexico's not easy, but he's doing a very good job. But the wall is almost completed, and it's a tremendous wall. It's everything.
They've replaced 200 and something miles. It's almost done, guys.
And it's wired for every single thing you could have. Remember the Democrats? We don't want a wall. We want.
It's wired for Wi-Fi, and then you could do an optical audio cable if you have the right speakers. It's wired for everything.
He supports cutting police funding, and he has pledged to end cash bail. Just last week, Sleepy Joe proudly accepted the endorsement of the pro-criminal, anti-police Portland District Attorney, who has a policy of releasing rioters, vandals, criminals, and violent extremists without charge. Now, last night, though, they arrested more than they've ever done because we said you have to. We said you have to. And we told them we will federalize them. We'll do whatever you need. And I spoke to the governor. It looks like they're finally, after 107 days, like they're finally doing what they're supposed to be doing. But we'll let you know very soon. Otherwise, we're going in. The Biden-Bernie manifesto pledges to implement these same policies nationwide. Now,
the one that's like, hey, we probably want to stop fracking soon.
A lefty, but not as bad as her, but a radical left. And I got a lot of Bernie voters, I think 15% last time, because they agree with me on trade. They understand that many of these countries, including our so-called allies, are ripping us off. They're ripping us off on trade. I agree with him on that. The difference is I know how to do something about it. They don't. They don't have a clue. They just know they're being ripped off. And a lot of Bernie people feel that. That's a big point. And they came over and they voted for me instead of crooked Hillary, which was a very nice thing. We appreciate it. We hope we don't lose it. Because we've really implemented things. You know, we've taken...
Interesting poll of non-voters from 2016. Non-voters from 2016 planning to vote. 2/3 planning to vote for Biden. That's a very interesting number.
They haven't given us. We signed a great trade deal, but the ink wasn't dry when the plague came in. So I view that trade deal as much differently than I did before, much differently. It's a great deal. They just last week, they ordered the biggest order of corn in history, the biggest order of soybeans in history. And I say, just shows you, though, they're smart, very smart. Instead of saying, you know, he's not talking very nicely about us and we're not going to order anymore, we're not going to do business. No. Instead, they do the opposite. They give us the biggest orders our farmers are very happy.
Wrong.
Our farmers are very happy.
Very, very untrue. In fact, the latest Rasmussen poll, a right-wing poll, which has Trump losing in Ohio, believed partially to be driven by farmers.
Dollars, because that's what you were targeted for by China. And I gave you 28 out of the tariffs, and we had tens of billions of dollars left over, which went into the U.S. Treasury. But nobody's ever done this before. Nobody's ever done this before. With Biden, it's the reverse. His son goes, sits down for 10 minutes with the father and whoever the hell they sat down with. Walks out with $1.5 billion to manage. He'll make millions of dollars a year. And he has no experience at all. Never happened before. Biden's plan is to appease the domestic terrorists. My plan is to arrest them.
Now, some of these domestic terrorists, they're not really terrorists, they're just protesters.
Do what you want. Vote for the candidate backed by violent left-wing rioters if you have to. Or do what you want to vote for the candidate backed by the selfless heroes of law enforcement and just about everybody else. Wait till you see the numbers. Wait till you see the numbers. You know, there was a poll that just came out. I think it was Gallup. And it was a weird kind of a poll because it said 62% of the people that are polled are lying. I said, that's a big number, right? I think it was 62%.
It was a poll about who's lying?
And they're only lying if it's us because they don't want to be bothered.
What?
In other words, they're not lying about Sleepy Joe. They're lying about us. And I don't know if I'm...
So 62% of the people not voting for Trump are lying about not voting? How does it... my brain is not able to compute this.
We have a virtual landslide going.
Okay.
We have a virtual landslide going. And this would look like...
Yeah, that's so dumb, I don't even understand all of the ways in which it's idiotic.
By some really great friends of mine, representatives, senators, just some incredible people that have really helped me, and we have to get them in office. And let's start off with Senator Tom Tillis.
Oh, God. He could be out of office soon.
He's been by my side. Thank you, Tom, very much. Representatives Greg Murphy, Virginia Fox, Mark Walker, Dan Bishop, and Ted Budd. What a group. What a group. What a group. Thank you, fellas. They're warriors. Boy, I'll tell you, those House guys, they were in there. They were fighting for us. We were 196-0, right? When Crazy Nancy impeached us, right? They impeached me for making a phone call that was perfect. It was a perfect call. I'll go down as the only president in history that got impeached for making an absolutely perfect phone call. Thank goodness I had the call because they totally misrepresented what was on the call. If you ever heard the shifty shift get up in Congress and say what I said, if I ever said that, it would have been terrible. But you know what? Fortunately, we had really talented people taking down everything word for word. We had the call perfectly. And if I didn't have it, somehow, with these people, I guess I'd still be here if you want to know the truth. But it was a lot easier. But we were 196-0. The Republicans stuck together. And Kevin McCarthy's done a fantastic job. He really has.
Everybody knows who that is, I'm sure.
And with the exception of a half a vote from Mitt Romney, you can have him.
Boo.
He's not too popular. I want to tell you, he's not a very popular guy in Utah. He's not too popular.
He's actually pretty popular. He could win easily, re-election.
To a half. He's a beauty, I'll tell you, that guy. He couldn't get elected dog catcher in Utah right now.
He just got elected.
Remember Utah, they said, it's too close to call. This was before the election.
No.
And then they announced, Utah, the polls are closed. Donald Trump has won the state of Utah. Do you remember that? Like immediately? I won by a lot. And there was some guy running, McMuffin, right? McMuffin, he was supposed to be second. Even Hillary beat him. What a group. Lieutenant Governor Dan Forrest. Dan.
Oh, my God.
Get out and vote for him. Get out and vote for him, okay? I tell you, he'll be a great governor. He loves your state. He'll be a great governor. Tom is going to be a great, great senator for another 6 years. We need them both. And I hope you're going to do well, Dan. I know you're really getting up there. It's getting very close. I'll be honest. If this governor that you have, I know him. You know, we had to take our convention away. He said you're allowed to have 10 people in the arena, 10. because it said one room 10, you're not supposed to have political rallies. I said, you know the money that your state is going to be losing? But if this guy doesn't open up your state, because almost all of them are open now, if he doesn't open up your state, you have no choice. You're going to vote for him anyway, but Dan, you'll be so
Right.
good. Dan Forrest, go and vote. The Republican nominee for North Carolina Attorney General, Jim O'Neill. Jim. Thank you, Jim. Where's Jim? Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. Good luck. Got to be careful with those ballots. Watch those ballots. I don't like it. You know, you have a Democrat governor, you have all these Democrats watching that stuff. I don't like it. I look at these crowds, and if they're going to cheat, crowds are meaningless. Really. If they're going to cheat.
Well, crowds are meaningless. Voting is what matters.
15,000, you could have 50,000. These crowds are meaningless. Watch it. Be poll watchers when you go there. Watch all the thieving and stealing and robbing.
Thieving.
Because this is important. We win North Carolina.
There's
we win.
burglary at the polls, my friends.
We're going to win Florida.
Pickpockets.
And North Carolina Republican Party Chairman Michael Whatley. Great. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Great job. And a very good friend of mine, a great guy, Mick Mulvaney. Where's Mick? Oh, I didn't know Mick was here. Look at him. What a good guy. Thank you, Mick.
Okay.
Oh, we have a lot of big shots over there, I see. But what do you think about a guy named Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff?
Vile. Disgusting.
We love Mark.
Please
Doing a
clap.
great job. He's doing a great job. And Robert O'Brien. Robert, how many hostages have you and I negotiated to get back? Not giving anything, but we have
Oh, I thought he was going to say, how many have we taken?
50 and 0. We're 50 and 0 on hostages. We got them back. We got hostages back from countries that you never even heard of.
Certainly countries Trump hasn't heard of anyway.
Thank you all for being here. Mick, it's good to see you. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. It's a very, very outstanding senator. Oh, I'm lucky I got to see that. Does everybody... we love South Carolina, right?
Oh, no. Don't tell me Tim Scott's there.
Come here. Lindsey Graham, everybody. Lindsey Graham.
Even worse. Even worse.
Lindsey and Tim Scott, two great ones. Two great ones. They may be from a different state, but they love you, Lindsey. That's good. And Tim is another one. So we have just incredible people in the party. We've achieved more in 4 years than anyone ever thought possible, and that's driving them crazy.
More destruction.
We passed massive tax cuts like nobody ever thought was possible for hardworking families, and we eliminated a record number of job-killing regulations, more than any president in history, whether it was 4 years, 8 years, or in one case more regulations. And to keep family farms in the family, we eliminated the unfair estate tax, also known as the death tax, on your small farms and businesses.
Right. Which affected like the tiniest sliver of the richest of the rich.
People were fighting for that. Your family lost the farm, lost their small business because they had to go and pay this ridiculous estate tax or death tax, as they call it. And now you don't have to worry about it. If you love your children, you leave it to them. If you don't love your children, then it doesn't matter what I did. Don't leave it to them. Give it to charity. Give it to something else. If they're not good to you, you don't love. But does anybody here not love their children? Please raise your hand. You.
Okay. Trump should raise his hand, right?
Good. I love that. That's. Oh, look at that one. You're gonna love that one. I guarantee. I guarantee you're gonna love that one. That's a keeper. That's a keeper. Right? That's great. You'll love that one. Someday in a long time from now, that beautiful child will not have to worry about estate taxes unless the Democrats do something in between. But we don't. No, but it was a terrible thing. You'd pass away and your kids would get the farm. They'd go out and borrow a lot of money because the estate tax was massive. They'd put big mortgages on the farm. They'd lose the farm. They'd lose the business. You don't have that anymore. Save the U.S. auto industry by withdrawing from the last administration's job-killing catastrophe. The Trans-Pacific Partnership was a disaster. For half a century, Joe Biden shook hands with blue-collar workers, and then he turned around and immediately stabbed them in the back. Biden supported NAFTA, China's entry into the World Trade Organization, TPP, the South Korea disaster deal, and mass amnesty for illegal aliens. Think of it. But the big news, he's changed. He's changed. After 47 years, I've changed. I swear to you, I've changed.
It's funny because Trump claims that at age 68, he stopped being in favor of abortion right before he ran for president. And yet he wants us to believe Biden couldn't change in 40 years, but Trump changed after 68.
Everything they want. Free health care for people that come into the country illegally, colleges, everything. Now the New Deal, under the New Deal, they get lawyers. If they come in to our country illegally, we supply them with legal advice. You believe it? Lawyers. This is what we need, is more lawyers. This state lost 43% of all manufacturing jobs after the twin disasters of NAFTA and China's entrance into the World Trade Organization. That's courtesy of Biden and his friends. Earlier this year, I kept my promise to North Carolina when we ended the NAFTA nightmare and we signed the brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement into law. It's been incredible. Everyone said impossible. They all said it was impossible to get done. We got it done. And it's a great deal. And it prevents people, it prevents companies from fleeing your state, opening up in Mexico or Canada, making a product, selling it to us with, it's such a disincentive to do that now. That was the thing that was most important to me. I used to hate when I'd see all these companies leaving our country, going to Mexico in particular, but Canada also, a lot of them going to Canada. And they'd make a product, everybody gets fired in our country, they close their business, and they make the same product in a different country, they send it back to us, no tax at the border, no tariff, no nothing. It doesn't work that way anymore. I took the toughest ever action to stand up to China's pillaging, plundering, ransacking, and rampant theft of North Carolina jobs and U.S. jobs. Joe Biden's agenda is made in China. My agenda is made in the USA.
Wow. Powerful, right?
In the face of China's economic aggression, we provided a historic $28 billion in relief to our amazing farmers. I will always stand with American agriculture. These are the greatest people, the finest people, and we're not going to let others take advantage of them. You know, for 20 years, you look at a chart, it's just been this way for 20 years. Now it's going back up. I mean, it helped that I gave you $28 billion in all fairness.
Right. People
if
love
I didn't
that.
do that, and I took it all from China, it was very easy. If I didn't do that, I think you wouldn't have any farmers right now, really. There was a difference between having farmers that are doing well and having no farmers. 28 billion over 2 years. They got hit. 1 year, 16 billion. 1 year, 12 billion. I said to Sonny Perdue, Secretary of Agriculture, great guy, an ex-farmer, governor of Georgia for 8 years, great guy. I said, Sonny, how much are they being targeted for? He said, sir, $12 billion.
Sir.
For the year before. And last year, sir, it was 16. So I said, 28, okay, that's fine. I said, we will give them 28 billion. They were unfairly targeted. And that was in order to get me. And by the way, China wants Joe Biden so badly. Oh, they want, and you know who else would like them very badly? Iran would like them very badly.
Who does Russia want?
Because I ended that Iran catastrophe that we paid 150 billion and 1.8 billion in cash. And you know what's going to happen? They're just waiting for the election because the country is going down the tubes. Their GDP went down 24%. Nobody ever heard of that before. Their country is in trouble.
Ours was down 32% last quarter.
They're going to wait till after the election. When I win the election, they're going to come to us and make a deal so fast. Watch how fast it'll be. They're dying to make a deal, but they do want to wait. Let's wait 2 months. Maybe we'll get lucky. maybe we're going to get lucky and Slow Joe gets in and we're going to make a great deal. No, they'll be in immediately after the election, and they'll make a deal. We'll make a fair deal with them. But what Obama did and Biden did with that horrible Iran deal. I ended last administration's war on American energy. Biden has pledged to end production of American oil, shale, clean coal, no fracking.
That's great.
Wiping out millions of jobs and forcing us to buy energy from...
More like replacing.
We don't want to buy energy. We've done that for a long time, for decades and decades. We don't want to do that anymore. I like being energy independent, don't you? And I'm sure that
Some people noticing the crowd is bored. I agree, although it's hard to tell just from this section of the crowd, but they are much quieter. I do think these just go way too long, especially when you consider how much earlier people need to get there. I think these are way too long and just very poorly put together.
And look at your electric bills, everything else. These guys, your electric would go up 4, 5, 6 times. The Green New Deal, it's called the Green New Nightmare.
We're almost 50 minutes in, and you can tell Trump is nowhere near done.
Will remain the #1 producer of oil and natural gas on Earth, and we will remain energy independent. It should be for many, many years to come. Because the fact is, we don't have to be in the Middle East other than we want to protect Israel. We've been very good to Israel. But other than that, we don't have to be in the Middle East. We don't need, there was a time we needed desperately. Oh, we don't need that anymore. We have more than they do. Isn't that nice? After years of rebuilding other countries, we are finally building our country. America first. It's America first. To bring hope to our inner cities, I created opportunity zones. I worked with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. What a great guy he is. Passed criminal justice reform, prison reform, delivered permanent funding for historically black colleges and universities that Obama never did or couldn't do. And Biden. I call it Biden. Biden. It's too long to say Obama but just call it Biden.
Right.
And before the China virus, we achieved the lowest African American, Hispanic American, Asian American unemployment rates ever recorded.
Hey, so what's the reason Trump is making, what's the case Trump is making here for why someone should vote for him? I'm not even sure I understand it.
American voters, he betrayed them. Look at 1994. Take a look at that. He betrayed them, what he did to them. He closed the factories in Baltimore and sent them to Beijing. They were all sent to Beijing. So many people went there. They went to all parts of the world, but a lot went to Beijing. He shuttered the plants in Chicago and sent them to Shanghai. Unlike the previous administration, under my administration, we put America first.
Oh, okay.
And actually, if we weren't interrupted with constant investigations that went nowhere, and nobody has been through what I've been through as President of the United States, nobody.
Pesky.
They used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me. But Lincoln was very, very badly treated by the fake news. Maybe in his case it was real. I can tell you in my case it's fake. It's totally fake. But nobody's been, and it should never be allowed to happen again. Let's see what happens. We caught him cold. Let's see what happens. But if we didn't have to, that takes time and energy and all of the things, the time that we spent on this impeachment hoax, Nancy Pelosi with her hairdryer and the whole thing. Everybody has to wear a mask. You must keep all beauty parlors closed. Then she's in a beauty parlor with no mask. Oh. And then she said the biggest person. She could have said, okay. She would have said, you got me. But she said, I got set up by the beauty parlor owner, who happens to be a Trump person, by the way. I like the beauty parlor person. She said, I got set up by the owner of the beauty parlor. Now she set me up. I say, how are you going to do with Putin, Kim Jong-un, and President Xi of China? No, it's terrible. She's always preaching about the mask. You got to wear the mask at all times, indoor, outdoor. When you go to bed at night, put the mask on. I've spent the last 4 years keeping my promises and delivering for the African American community, and when I'm reelected, the best is yet to come. I'll tell you that.
All right.
Perhaps in no area have our opponents more thoroughly betrayed working families of all backgrounds than on the subject of immigration.
Uh-oh.
Under my administration, we've achieved the most secure border in American history. Now, I have to tell you that 300 miles of wall helps a lot.
295 of which were
walls
already
are
there.
old-fashioned. They don't work, really. I always say, and I've said it 4 or 5 times, I'll say it again if you'd like me to. 2 things if you come back in 1,000 years, 2,000 years, or 3,000 years. If you're lucky enough, assuming we have something with the world is a crazy place, isn't it? But if you come back in 1,000 years, there are 2 things with all the computers and all the everything changes every day. You invent a new cell. You invent a new laptop. Everything is obsolete, like about 2 weeks after you invent it, right? 2 things that will never get obsolete. The wall and the wheel, right? A wheel?
And he's taking responsibility for both.
Maybe I'm wrong, who knows? But I would say walls and wheels have a great future. We ended catch and release, stopped asylum fraud, and we've deported 20,000 gang members, including the radical MS-13. We invested $2.5 trillion in the United States military, all made in the USA, by the way. We have the newest, finest military we've ever...
So remember, there were people falling all over themselves yesterday to say, oh, Trump criticized the military-industrial complex. He said the Pentagon doesn't like them because they want to just do wars to get bombs purchased. He's bragging about buying the bombs. Okay, don't fall for it.
Satisfaction with the VA has just reached 91%, the highest satisfaction level in history. I withdrew from the last administration's disastrous Iran nuclear deal, as I said, and I kept my promise and recognized the true capital of Israel and opened the United States Embassy in Jerusalem. And then I recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, and we achieved the first breakthrough in the Middle East peace for many, many decades. Even the New York Times said that was an amazing achievement. You believe that? I said, let me see that one. No, we did something that nobody thought was possible. And it's Israel, as you see and as you've read, Israel and UAE, highly respected leader, Mohammed, highly, highly respected. And now we have other countries in the Middle East. They all want to come in. It's going to be a beautiful picture. It's going to be a beautiful picture. We killed the vicious founder and leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. We killed him. Why didn't Biden get him? You know, they were after him for 8 years. They never got him. I got him. The world's #1 terrorist and the mass murderer of American troops, Qasem Soleimani.
Still can't say it, huh?
Soleimani. Al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 worst terrorists in the world for many, many years, many decades. We kept America out of new wars, and we're bringing our troops back home. We're bringing them back home from all these faraway places. We spend hundreds of billions of dollars, and what do we get out of it? Biden voted for the Iraq War. He supported the defense sequester that gutted our military. He opposed the mission to take out Osama bin Laden.
So, you know, those are all lies, but the bin Laden thing, there was a point where Biden said, we should be more sure before we go forward. And Trump tries to frame it as if he was like, no, we shouldn't even go after Osama bin Laden. But the crowd doesn't know that. They don't know that.
And you saw the Mueller family on television. You saw that at the convention, what al-Baghdadi did with their beautiful daughter. And incredible how our troops handled that. You should see it. It was incredible. Biden also cheered the rise of China as a positive development for America and for the world. How are we doing with China? We just have the plague.
I mean, listen, the truth is, obviously, we have adversarial elements of our relationships, but if you have an economy based on cheap stuff and outsourcing, the rise of China benefits that strategy. You could argue we shouldn't have that strategy, but that's the strategy that has been the strategy here for decades.
Guy that doesn't know where he is. I can't believe it. When I banned travel from China, Biden called it hysterical and xenophobic. Do you remember that? I banned it. Everybody told me, no, you don't have to do that. But I said, we have to.
This lady
because
remembers
Wuhan is very infected and they're coming here. So I banned it.
Or this guy, I don't know, I'm
Later on,
sorry.
it was said to be a great move. If we had listened to Joe, hundreds of thousands more Americans would have died. If Biden wins, China will own America, and it won't take long with his son Hunter walking out with all of that money with no experience whatsoever, no investment experience. He didn't even have a job. Joe Biden is weak and will always cave to China, who is strong. When the virus arrived, we launched the largest national mobilization since World War II. We're delivering life-saving therapies, and we have achieved some of the great numbers. The case fatality rates, we have the lowest of any major country in the world. People don't know that because the fake news doesn't want to write about it. Under Operation Warp Speed, we're producing a vaccine in record time. This is a vaccine that we're going to have very soon, very, very soon, by the end of the year, but much sooner than that, perhaps. And
weird that you need a vaccine for something that's going to go away 15 cases going to zero.
By the last administration, and in all fairness, by most other administrations, we have upped it to a level that nobody even believes is possible and totally safe. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris rated the most liberal.
Still can't say it.
Undermining science and risking countless lives with their reckless anti-vaccine rhetoric. That's what they're talking about. So now they know we have it. It's only a question of weeks or a small amount of time. So instead of saying that's a great thing, we're going to save lives, they're trying to disparage it.
No, what Kamala Harris very clearly said was not anti-vax. And she said, it's not about the vaccine. It's, I don't take anything on Trump's word. Trump lies all the time. So we're not going to assume a vaccine is safe merely because Trump or his flunkies say it. That's the point, and that's a good point to make.
Getting it out, and we're going to get it out fast. The vaccine will be safe. These are the greatest companies in the world that do this, the greatest labs, the greatest doctors. It'll be effective, and it'll be delivered before the end of the year. And maybe, as I said, much sooner than that. Joe Biden's plan to impose a blanket shutdown would collapse our economy and cause countless deaths from suicide.
Biden hasn't said that he would impose a blanket shutdown. He would say if we need a national mask mandate, he would do it. And if the situation gets completely out of control, he would consider a shutdown. Now, remember, it's up to governors. And by January 20th, the situation will be dramatically different. I don't think we will be talking about total shutdowns by January 20th. That's just me.
What are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. They're hurting our people. North Carolina has to open up. By contrast, my administration is following the science, protecting those at highest risk while allowing those at lower risk to safely return to work and to school. Go back to school. Go back to school. You ever see the statistics on young people? I don't know. They have a great immune system. Let's get some of that immune system. But they're amazing. I mean, thousands and thousands of people, and they're not even affected, very little, meaning a small percentage of 1%. It's an incredible thing. Nobody knew that when it first came here. Nobody assumed a thing like that was possible. But young people are very strong against this horrible disease. Through our historic China virus relief programs, we've saved more than 1.3 million jobs for North Carolina workers. That worked out great. We provided $380 million in relief for North Carolina farmers
Leadership.
and made $10 million in people.
I start to hope that it's ending, and then he goes back to the prompter after his rants, and it's just such a disappointment.
very much in our sights. We want to help them. The Biden agenda would crush this comeback and put our families in grave danger. Biden is promising to reimpose job-destroying regulations. We got rid of more regulations. He wants to put those regulations back plus 50%. You couldn't build a road. We took roads from 18, 19, and even 20 years approval down
Biden wants to double plus the regulations.
for a highway or for a road. But you're going to know in the period of 12 months to 24 months. You're not going to spend an entire lifetime and then have them raise their hand. I know all about it from the real estate business.
This couple is so bored right here.
He wants to give illegal aliens government health care and taxpayer-funded lawyers, establish a national sanctuary city policy for illegal aliens with criminal records. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, this stuff is not even really believable, but it is what it is. He wants to surge refugee admissions by 700% into our country, flooding your towns with poorly vetted migrants, including many from jihadist regions of the world.
Jihadist.
Biden opposes school choice. He opposes North Carolina opportunity scholarships. And he has stated that if he is elected, charter schools are gone. He said they're gone. And they've been incredible.
Obviously, that is not true.
Provide school choice to every parent in America.
Jihadists was interesting.
We'll also take good care of our teachers. Our teachers are very, very important to me. Very important. Nothing more important. A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe communities, great jobs, and
I like how this guy switched positions with the woman I presume is his wife. Next thing you know, he'll just leave. He'll just go off screen altogether.
We will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China once and for all. We'll make our medical supplies right here in the United States. We will enact fair trade deals that create American jobs and grow American wages. We are going to bring our companies back home where they should be, and I've been doing a lot of it, but we are going to do it at a level that nobody ever thought possible.
The guy is moved on to showing his wife memes now on his phone.
Record prosperity. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, surge federal prosecutors into high crime communities, and ban all sanctuary cities.
Ban them.
We will protect government benefits for American citizens, not for illegal aliens. What you're doing when you have all of these advantages, when you're giving them free health care and free lawyers and free college and free everything, they all come. They didn't think of coming, but they see this. They talk, and they talk to their friends, and they all come in. They want to come to America. You're just bringing people in, and we don't want to do that. We want people to come to our country, but they have to come in through merit, and they have to come in legally. Very simple. We will appoint prosecutors, judges, and justices who believe in enforcing the law, not their own political agenda. We will ensure equal justice for citizens of every race, color, religion, and creed. We will defend the dignity of work and the sanctity of life.
Right. Trump's very against abortion now. Thanks, Scarter, for the raid on Twitch. Appreciate it. Welcome, everybody.
To keep and bear arms. We will strike down terrorists who threaten our citizens, and we will keep America out of endless, ridiculous foreign wars.
Foreign wars. Domestic wars are a different story.
Like it's never been built up before. We need our military for other reasons. We will have the strongest we have now. When I took over, our military was depleted. We have a lot of military people here. Our military was depleted.
Real strong critique of the military-industrial complex, huh, guys?
We have brand new, beautiful F-35s. We have brand new rockets and missiles.
Right on cue.
And hopefully we never have to use them. I will say that. But the best way of not having to use them is to have them. If you have them, we learned that in the schoolyards, right? We learned that in the schoolyards. The best way is to have them. We have the strongest military we've ever had by far. We'll end surprise medical billing, require price transparency, which I've already signed into law, which, by the way, kicks in on January 1st. You better elect me, North Carolina. I did price transparency, and I've cut the price. Drugs are going to start going down at levels nobody's ever seen. Favored nations. Yeah.
Imagine listening to this stuff and believing it.
So we did price transparency, kicks in January 1st. Could you imagine if this guy's president and your prices start going way down, hospitalization, doctors, you can choose your own doctor, unlike with Obama, right? Prices going way down.
Under Obama, someone called me and said, David, you think you like your doctor's gone. We're telling you who your doctor is. It was a horrible morning when I got that call.
He is. He would have never done it.
They gave me a kid, like literally an 11-year-old.
I'm instituting favored nations clauses, so we're going to pay what other nations pay at the lowest end. And you're going to get back rebates that we were given to middlemen who have to be the richest people in the world. We'll protect Medicare and Social Security, and we will protect your Social Security. And we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions, always, always. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars.
I found it funny how he's doing this space travel stuff when it's not been a priority at all, and many rightists think NASA's a waste of money. Now all of a sudden Trump is on Mars.
The #1 space center in the world by far, by far. You see what's going on there. You see what's going on. We will restore patriotic education to our schools. Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
I wish I knew.
Look at you. This is a very sophisticated group, Tom. You know what I'm talking about, patriotic education.
This group is sophisticated, guys. They read theory.
Well, the first thing they do is they want to take your history away. That's a great group behind me. I don't know. They're activists. No, but you know what? You know what it means. They want to take away your history. That's why the monuments and the statues, they want to knock them down. The first thing they do is take away your...
It's weird because Germany doesn't have statues of Nazis, but they very much understand the history. They know the history. They've somehow figured out a way to do it without the statues. I don't know how they've done it.
You know what? They started off with generals and colonels and others that nobody ever heard of, and I thought that was bad. And then they went up a little bit, and I said, you know, someday it's going to be Robert E. Lee, someday it's going to be Washington, someday it's going to be Lincoln, someday it's going to be Jefferson, someday it's going to be Benjamin Franklin. It's all of them. It's all of them. They take away your past. They're never taking away our past. They're never taking away our past.
Okay.
But that's the way they do it. You study it. That's the way they go. They take away your guts. And we'll teach our children to love our country, honor our history.
Take away your guts, like disembowel people? That's horrible.
Flag. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust."
They, yeah. The royal they. Should probably rap.
This is better than the arenas, I have to say. Especially when you have a crowd like this. But they're like this. They have such spirit in this country. People love our country so much. I went to Texas, I went to Ohio, I went to Florida. It's always like this. They love our country. And we're not going to disappoint anybody. We're not disappointing them. For years, you had a president who apologized for America.
Wow. This is a real cult. Check out my interview with Stephen Hassan about how this is now a cult, and you can see it right here.
So you had
I don't feel this way about politicians I like even. I mean, this is not a healthy relationship to elected officials.
up for the people of North Carolina. This is the most important election in the history of our country, and I wouldn't say that lightly. And frankly, I thought the last one was, and I said it, but they've gone to a level that nobody even thought possible. These people have gone stone cold crazy. And you know what? After we get in, we're going to have tremendous success. And it was building. What
does that mean after we get in? He's in now. I had a commentary last week that Trump's running like someone else has been president for the last at least 6 months. What does that mean when we get in?
Starting success brings people together. It was so good. Our jobs numbers were so good. And whether it was the black community, the Hispanic community, the Asian community, our jobs were so good. Our numbers were so good. We were getting together. And then the plague came in and we had to stop. We had to close it up. We had to open it and start all over again. And, you know, if you would have told me that we have one of the highest stock markets, some of the stock markets have already broken every record. You look at NASDAQ, you look at we're far ahead of what I had planned. We're far ahead of schedule. But we did it once. We have to do it again because
how long ago did he plan this for us, I wonder?
A terrible event, a horrible event. So many people died. Nobody should have died. Not one person. So many people died. But if we didn't do it right, we would have lost millions of people, and just a terrible thing. But oftentimes I say, bring people together, and then I realized if you look at that last few months, we were starting to come together. I was getting calls from, you won't believe it, Democrats. I was getting calls from Democrats, and they were sort of saying, well, things are going really well. It was starting to happen. And now we have to get it back to a level of great success because it'll happen again. There'll be great unity. Eventually, there'll be great unity. So get your friends and get your family, get your neighbors and your co-workers.
Back to the script.
Vote. And I say this because it's from Charlotte to Kitty Hawk, from Durham to Asheville, and from Wilmington to right here in Winston-Salem. We inherit the legacy of North Carolina patriots
who
gave their blood, sweat, and tears for this beloved nation. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the oceans, blazed the trails, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness,
really has
dug
a way
out
with words,
the Panama Canal, laid down the railroads, revolutionized industry, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America the single greatest nation in the history of the world. And we are making it greater than ever before.
It's got to be the rap, right?
Proud and great citizens like you helped build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting. And we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning.
Oh, not that again.
We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God.
Glorious.
And together with the incredible people of North Carolina, we will make America wealthy again.
Oh, no.
We will make America strong again.
He just needs 4 more years to do it.
We will make America proud again.
Couldn't do it in the first 4.
We will make America safe again.
Taken longer than he hoped.
And we will make America great again. Thank you, North Carolina. Thank you.
Wow. A disturbingly raucous atmosphere filled with a guy sitting motionless and the woman on her phone looking at memes. As you can see, enthusiasm sky high for another 4 years of Donald Trump. Beyond parody, impossible to satirize. Saturday Night Live out of jobs as a result of, oh my goodness, he's dancing, as a result of these events. Hey guys, let's get to 1 million YouTube subscribers right now. We've got the people watching. We're only 8,000 away. Let's do it. Let's get to 1 million YouTube subscribers right now. Why not? Consider yourselves invited. As Donald Trump, it's really a party when YMCA starts and Trump starts gingerly walking down the steps. That is how you know it is time to party. There it is. Mouthing kisses and thank yous to people. Yeah, there it is. There's the Trump dance. It's sort of like if you had a rope and you were moving it back and forth. This is the Trump dance. And it is quite a dance if I've ever seen one before. Let's just listen a little bit. I know we're going to get hit with copyright, but I just have to hear it. I think it makes more sense with this song, actually.
Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. Convalescent strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection. Convalescent is the only possible, and it's only made possible because of...
Off he goes.
Convalescent. Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the...
All right, anyway, you guys get it. So there it is. Donald Trump, I guess, making the... Wow, people really in the chat responding to that song. Very much making the case for his reelection on the basis that he's going to do things once he gets into power. Now, you might be saying, hasn't he been in power for 4 years? That's what I thought. It seems they are... It's funny. It looks like they are putting Donald Trump in a car to go over the few hundred feet to the plane. Trump, on his way in, ridiculing the idea that he wouldn't, of course, walk over. And now, indeed, they are putting him in a car to get back to his airplane, it appears. Listen, thank you to everybody for joining me. We did it. We got 64 new members. Our initial goal was only 25. We are rapidly approaching 50,000 followers on Twitch. And, of course, rapidly approaching 1 million YouTube subscribers. Thank you so much. I will see everybody very, very soon.
China virus that will save countless lives. We provided $48 million to fund the Mayo Clinic study that tested the efficacy of convalescent the virus. Convalescent. This is the only possible, and it's only made possible because of Operation Convalescent.